UK services, Lavazzi and who1.co.uk present the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 20 megabyte Doctor Who podcast, episode 549. I'm Adam and sexy. Here's Debbie Melrose.
Did you wish really hard?
Sorry, I was going to use that one.
Ben Shoveler. This will be interesting.
Run!
Yes, that was perfect.
That was there.
Oh, sorry, I set off the triple.
I haven't got
because I got so excited.
What we're doing. So.
It's all right. Stop. Just got nicely off to sleep then. Mary Blitzlang.
Do fish have fingers?
Yeah, it's very good. Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
Just admiring your Time Lord distress signal collection.
Is anyone left?
No, that's
I've done well there.
Yeah.
I managed to remember everybody. It's quite astounding. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year!
Yay!
It's funny when you say that and everybody says it at the same time. Everybody sounds like they're saying ear. Sorry, Ben. Didn't mean to interrupt there.
You did interrupt me and talked all over me, and we all know that when I talk, you should all listen.
I think my treble likes Ben's dulcet tones.
Happy new podcast, everybody.
Yes. All right, you can shut up now.
Your tribble's very exciting.
Yeah, what's with
you
this
can shut
trouble?
up. Yeah,
You got him for Christmas, he's showing him off.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Well, I don't watch the.
Oh, it's Kirby's talking. Doesn't like Kirby's voice. Oh dear. I remember Magic didn't particularly like. I'll have to put the earplugs back. Hang on.
I've shown you that way back 35 years ago, I was cosplaying as an original Klingon.
Yeah, no wonder then. I've just put the earplugs back in wherever his ears are. I presume it's a his. I think they're sort of his, he, sort of gender fluid, shall we say. So any pronoun will do.
Oh, don't be going on about that. I'm going to have to stop doing this podcast.
No,
If you're going to go about gender fluids in books like that.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Did you see
they
what
can't
I got
hear
for,
you.
Did you see what I got for Christmas? That I got it late last night.
Your
Take Brand Hero?
Little Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, I love it.
No. I've done a lot of upgrades to my Shedio since we've last been on.
I thought you were going to say upgrades to your Build-A-Bear.
Yes, he now comes with chainsaw hands and to my Shedio. So I've now actually got many things which I could implement into the podcast at a moment's notice, and you'd be all like, "What's that? Trickery and wizardry Ben's doing?" And yeah, so just watch out. There may be things that happen that haven't happened before.
I dread to think. Right then, Lillian Robbins says, "Have you seen my Christmas stockings?" Oh, sorry, that was wrong. I've got the wrong way round. No. Started.
Yeah.
No, it's hello. Sorry, I misread that. Hello. Terry Miles, evening, Adam and Co. Lillian Robbins says, "Please approve my friend Rob Tymek for the group." I don't know. I didn't realise that Rob had actually applied to be in the group. And then I'm trying to get him to listen. Okay. If I notice any things that I've missed in regards to people wanting to get into the group, I haven't refused anyone. Anybody refused Rob entry to the group at all?
No, haven't even seen him show up as a request.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if you're trying to get him to listen, now would be a good time.
Yes, because Ben's on.
Yeah, because we're talking and stuff.
Yes. So this week, The Doctor's Wife, which I haven't actually seen since it was last on. I just have memories of it. It begins with, and we're going to do this quite slickly, aren't we, Kirby? With some sort of dark...
No interruptions.
Dark scenes within a weird alien sort of hodgepodge place, where a lady who looks a little bit like that woman who was in Coronation Street and stuff.
Was she?
Yes.
Saran Jones. She was also the Mona Lisa in Sarah Jane Adventures and other stuff. So she's being led somewhere. Yes, Dr. Foster. That's I forgot about her. Award-winning Dr. Foster. She's being led by an Ood and a couple of other weird characters into this sort of what looks like she's going to be beamed up, But her name's Astrid. We've got a name. She's called Astrid. Anyway, she's something's done to her, and she goes. And then we moved next scene to the TARDIS, where the Doctor is sort of wandering around, being all very pleased with himself. And Amy and Rory are sort of, we really must tell him about what we know about him going to die in how many years' time, what it was going to be. And then something's outside the TARDIS, and it's a spinny white square thingy, whatchamacallit.
Straight out of the Second Doctor. Yay!
Anyway, it's a Time Lord texty, messagey thing, and the Doctor gets really excited.
Mail. That was almost going to be one of my.
You've got mail.
Yeah, I've got mail.
That's it, yeah. And he gets really excited because he thinks, another Time Lord. That means there are Time Lords around, and they decide to go out of space and time to follow the source of the message. So it appears to be a sort of distress call, really, doesn't it?
Are we in E-space?
Well, it is a distress call that was established with the end of War Games.
Yeah, so me saying it appears to be a distress call would have... Oh, now you've upset the Tribble again.
Adam, are we in E-space again, basically?
I think that's the void in between, isn't it? I don't know. Sorry. Every time it hears my voice, I'll just put the earplugs back in properly this time. Yeah, don't worry, Kirby's nowhere near you. Sure. I'll put it over there. Yeah, so after they decide to go out the space of time to follow the source of the message, Idris... I called her something else earlier on. Idris sort of wakes up and puffs out a load of Artron energy for a hand and stuff and gets all excited, and then it's the title sequence. Sorry, Deb, did you say something?
You called her Astrid.
I did. Well, that's because I was thinking of Kylie. Shall we play some Kylie songs?
No!
Yes.
Oh, you said no last time,
lucky.
Kirby. Thank you much.
I said yes, but last time we did it for half an hour and everybody got weirded out.
It was fun, though. I was listening to that show back. It was one of our best. It was really funny because I was really enjoying listening to these little Kylie addings, and me and Ben were just singing along. And then everybody else started getting a bit sort of cross about it, and that made it very, very good fun to listen to.
I think we should just take it slow.
I said don't do it because of exactly how cross we got.
It was fun then. Anyway, so the Doctor and crew arrive at this weird sort of place, of which I didn't really get the name of. Kirby?
Wait,
Quarry.
house.
A quarry
What's it?
somewhere.
Oh, I didn't look up what quarry it was. It's outside of Cardiff.
Was it West
I didn't
Ham?
want to know that. No, what the actual place in the
Does look
story?
like West
The
Ham.
planet,
for
the
God's
planet
sake. House.
is house.
Thank you. That's
Which
what it is.
it was funny listening to you and Alicia because you had just finished watching it the night before, and she called it host instead of house, and then you kept going on, and you were talking to me in the car park, and you were also calling him host instead of house.
Wow.
Hold on, Kirby, were you in the car park or was Adam in the car park?
I was in the car park, but he was sort of digitally in the car park.
We used to do that. We used to do that
Very
back
fishy around
a
here.
long time ago.
Oh, I remember those days of getting random phone calls from Adam at 11 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm just sat outside a something.
I didn't turn into bloody John Major just because I was in the car park in Shanklin. Thank you very
I'd
much,
like
Ben.
to make sure that the Doctor Who podcast continues, if we can, please.
Right, Lillian Robbins says he says it's showing as a private group. That's because it is, Lillian, because when it was a non-private public group, we used to get lots of spam and weirdos, other than us, of course, trying to just... They didn't join, they just walked in and started causing havoc. So it was turned into a private group to stop people...
They walked into our house,
Yeah.
sat on our sofa, on
Yeah.
our seat, and then on the bed.
So I don't know how that works. And then Lillian said,
You don't
look
know how
again
that
to
works?
see if you
Jolly
can
good.
see him. Well, can I do that after the show, please, Lillian? Or get Kirby to do it. Right then.
I can't.
My
I don't
official
have
secretary.
administrative. I don't. You took me off of being able to do that.
I'll do it.
Oh, you are? I didn't know you were
Yes.
administrator, Debbie. I've learned a new thing every day.
Except Deb,
I'm an administrator.
Are you now?
you're the only one besides Adam now.
Sorry about that. Right then, can I
Izzy
get
is.
back on with the show? Anyway, so...
Shows that Izzy's
This 45 minutes is turning
Yeah, I know.
into
Sorry about that, Ben.
It's really
Right,
working.
a pipe dream, somebody said.
So anyway, to
I
cut a
listened.
long story short, the Doctor is
Yeah,
all excited
well
because he's found this place and he really does think he's going to see lots of Time Lords because he's sort of feeling the Time Lord vibe. And yeah, Idris is acting very, very strangely excited and eventually bites the Doctor by way of greeting. So they sort of restrain Idris in a little. I'm moving this forward in a little sort of cage, and moving forward to the next interesting bit. Sorry, but I know there's might be some good bits of dialogue and talking about oods and stuff like that, and the Doctor fixing the oods communication doodah, which then picks up all the Time Lord messages, etc., etc. But it really gets interesting. Oh yeah, the Doctor sends Amy and Rory back into the TARDIS, which House locks. But as when
Master?
he realises that Idris is the TARDIS's consciousness, which is then when the story gets really interesting. Did you say something, Kirby?
Yes, this story was originally going to be in place of the Lodger. They did the Lodger instead, and originally Rory wasn't going to be in it, and the whole business of Amy finding the ring, which is at the end of the Lodger, was going to be in those scenes running around inside the TARDIS.
Okay. Anyway, so so when you obviously the Doctor does find the communication devices in a cupboard and gets very cross with Uncle.
That's a good scene. Seeing all those cubes. Yeah.
He gets very cross with Uncle and whoever the other woman is. What was the woman called?
Auntie.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Was it Auntie?
Yes.
Oh, was it? That's fairly obvious, really, isn't it? And realises that they've all been sort of House has sort of made them up of bits of Time Lords.
No, to us Americans, it's Auntie.
Well,
We shouldn't be anti it.
Auntie.
Should be against it though.
No.
It depends on what part of the country you're in, actually.
Yeah.
How you pronounce it.
So, like I say, the Doctor releases Idris, and when the Doctor realises that House has trapped Amy and Rory inside the TARDIS, and it sort of dematerialises it and starts feeding off its Artron energy, because that's what House lives on. He eats Artron energy, so that's why he nicks Time Lords and their TARDISes and stuff like that. And
A lot of them about, is there?
pardon?
A lot of them about.
Well, there was, obviously not anymore. So
I'm a bit hungry now.
yeah, so basically, House has a lot of fun with Amy and Rory within the corridors of the TARDIS.
You know, those two that came from West Country and just ended up in TARDIS for a while.
And Idris, i.e. the TARDIS, and the dialogue between and the acting dialogue between Matt Smith and Saran Jones, and him talking to the TARDIS and the way she says that the Doctor's, well, I stole you. Well, no, I stole you, and that sort of thing. All that stuff. I was jaw-droppingly good. And of course, it was the TARDIS's idea to make a TARDIS out of the discarded pieces of TARDISes, or the graveyard, the TARDIS graveyard that was also there. So while that's all happening, House is having a great deal of fun messing with Rory and Amy's minds with the corridors. There's a scene in which every time Amy runs ahead a little bit too far, the door behind will shut, leaving Rory behind, and then she finds him a few seconds later, and he's been there for hours, and then he's been there for years, and then he's a skelly bone.
Before that gets, it's just the sense of menace through that whole sequence is brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, except all I could think of is, why don't you two just hold hands and stay together?
Yeah. That would have occurred to me on the third one.
Or if they could have taken, if they'd have got one mitten each from Rory's jacket with a string between them, they could have just held onto one mitten each.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very frustrating to watch them always running separately.
Yeah, but House played by Michael Sheen. I wish we could see the real Michael Sheen and see his face and everything, rather than a very deep version of his voice.
They had not been distorting his voice. I think his voice would have been.
Yeah, his voice would have been better.
Well, they did that with
Adam, guess what? It's raining again.
Thanks,
Mary.
Yes.
If you don't like people running separately, don't watch the marathons. You'll have a shocking time.
But no, I'm just saying they did that with Ian McKellen's voice during that Christmas special we haven't seen yet.
Was she like blind running then?
It was him that played the Great Intelligence, wasn't it, Kirby? Ian McKellen?
Who?
It's an actor, Ian McKellen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir.
Sir,
you.
thank you. That's right. At least somebody knows how to correctly address me. Anyway, so I love the little...
Yeah, but not politely on the way on the podcast. It's a children's show.
Oh, God. He wants to listen now. Now, how am I going to add this chap? What's his name again? Rob Tymek.
I've added him. He's here. He's on. He's done. I told you I'd do it.
You've done it, have you? You didn't tell me you'd done it, though. You told me you were going to do it, Deb, but you didn't tell me you'd done it.
Well, everyone was waxing lyrical.
Excuses.
I wasn't going to interrupt until an actual moment.
I mean, hold on. What you've got to remember is if you've added him, chances are the first thing he's going to hear is you lot arguing about him. Hi, Rob.
Yes, I bloody did. I told you I was. You didn't tell me you hadn't done it. Ooh.
So anyway, back to the episode. The lovely little the mini console room TARDIS-y thing that the Doctor and Idris have made is absolutely beautiful, and they use it
I
to
posted a link. Master, I posted a link to the Blue Peter contest about that.
Thanks for that. But it's beautiful. And also I love the way that the Idris communicates with Amy so as they can find their way to the old control room, which I remember at the time being really excited to see that back again.
Communicates not with Amy, with Rory.
Oh, was it Rory? I apologise.
Pretty one.
Just making sure that you lot were paying attention. Just making sure that you lot were paying attention. So well done. Where's my bell? Oh, sorry, it's buried under a load of stuff. Hang on. Has been Christmas and stuff. There we go. So well done, you lot. Right then, where did I get up to? Right, so the Doctor and they're just about to get done in anyway. Because it wasn't, somebody was in the console room, and then they materialised, and whoever was there got atomised by the arrival of the Doctor and Idris.
Nephew was in there.
Nephew, got done in. That's right, because he was being all menacing, wasn't he? He was going to kill them. Nephew, kill them. As what normally happens in Doctor Who. And but
another Ood he killed.
But poor old Idris, her body can't take the consciousness of the TARDIS for very long and is dying. And
that's a common theme in sci-fi, isn't it?
Listen, they're dying.
I can do it, but not for long.
And she flakes out and then puffs out a load of Artron energy, which she uses to kill House, because House was conned into thinking that he was going to be taken to the normal universe where he could feed off Artron energy from God knows where. But when the TARDIS is...
because he still doesn't know that there are no more Time Lords. He thinks...
The doctor said so, but I don't think House believed him.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the life force of the TARDIS goes around, destroys House, and then just comes back together to be Idris for one last little very moving conversation between two fine young actors, and
it's just a little dust in my eye. I'm sorry. I'm not crying.
And then there's a scene of the Doctor in the bowels of the TARDIS with the 13th Doctor's goggles on, doing some repairs, or is it the other way around? And yes, that's really cool. And that's basically it.
Master.
It was a bit of a master, to be fair, yes.
Did you catch the reference to the going to the Eye of Orion, which they...
Yes, I did, but I wasn't going to bring it up because I didn't think it was that important.
Well,
I just thought it was another little nod.
I think that's great. In fact, I tend to watch the Five Doctors all the time, so...
Well, if you stop watching it for the moment and concentrate on this, that'd be great. So, so first time I watched it, I had memories of not being... Obviously, it's a Neil Gaiman story, and it's been a bit bigged up because of that. But obviously, however many years later, I've sat down and think, actually, I wouldn't mind watching this. And watching it in awe of the brilliant writing, brilliant acting, lovely little story. So... my opinions have greatly improved off the back of this tale, because I think we're very lucky to have Neil Gaiman having written a couple of stories for Doctor Who, and this is an absolute banger. And yes, it's. I mean, I think Saran Jones has shown her acting talents more since this was recorded, and again, she's a talent, and all around absolutely fab. What did you think of it, Debbie?
Me? Well, I don't think I've talked about this one with you guys before.
Well, that's because you haven't.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was looking for, and it's the simple fact is that I've revisited this story quite a few times because I love it. Pretty much biased because anything Neil Gaiman does has been fine in my
But that's
books
hype,
for
isn't it, Deb? You
years.
don't expect it to actually happen, and he's done it. He's done a brilliant job.
It's brilliant, and yeah, he's a terrific writer, and the script is absolutely brilliant. It's tight, it keeps you going, it doesn't lag. You're led with this story beautifully, the juxtaposition of what's going on between Rory and Amy and what's going on between Idris and the Doctor. It's such a great little sort of backhander 1 2 1 2 1 2 all the way through, and the music, the setting is just fantastic, really claustrophobic in the TARDIS as well, and just the use of old tech, seeing you're having the nod to the fandom with a lot of the stuff in house as well, and it's just a really great story, and it's nice that he actually got to talk to something that he's been so attached to for so long, and he actually got to speak to her,
and we as fans get to hear.
Yeah, and it was just a really nice. I'm a fan of Doctor Who. I've written this gorgeous story, and it was like okay, we'll take it, and absolutely. It was one of my all-time favourites with Matt Smith, definitely.
Marvellous, thank you very much. I'll ask Ben before I ask Mary, because I don't know if you've seen this one, Ben, have you? Before?
Well, I did watch it on its initial transmission.
Oh, you did?
And you loved it too.
Did I?
Yes.
I
listened to that episode about 2 hours ago.
What did I say?
You were impressed.
Okay, give me a bit more.
Do his review for him.
So,
Okay, Adam, I mean, I haven't seen it since it was originally broadcast, but I remember being impressed at the time.
That's good enough for me.
I did think it was slightly sexist, though, and it's very typically male in the way that the Doctor, after nearly 60 years, finally spoke to this female he'd been going in and out of all this time.
Brilliant.
Family show.
It's a TARDIS, Mary. I don't know what you're thinking. Mary Blitz Lang. I've just picked up on what you might have.
I'm disgusted.
I'm disgusted.
Don't you dare tarnish Mary's good name.
Yeah.
Wow. So yes. But I've got to say, I really did think that your description of the episode made it sound really fun.
Thank you, Kirby.
I just absolutely love this story. It's one of the ones that I'll go back and just watch. Oh, I need one of my favorite Who stories, and I'll pull this one out. And you just said that you like it better. You liked it a whole lot 11 and a half years ago, too.
Do I?
Well, he now likes it 12
I
out
do,
of
and
10.
I definitely like it more
Yeah,
now.
I guess you like it 12 out of 10 now. And I was very impressed by Alicia because she stated the whole plot and went off and discussed things about it that it was very impressive back when she actually watched Doctor Who.
What episode number of the podcast is this you are referring to, just in case podcast listeners who are new want to go back and hear what we said last time?
Let me scroll down to it. Let me continue with what I was talking. Okay, here it is. It's number 57.
Oh, are you feeling now? You're feeling badly.
Yeah, it's episode 57.
That's what I thought.
Anyway.
So 2011 then.
Yes.
57. Yeah, I thought 56, 57, something like that.
57.
Yeah, I was right.
Anyway.
So she was 14 then when that episode went out.
Yes. I just love the story.
It's not nice being interrupted all the time, Kirby, is it?
I've been interrupted before by you.
I know. I'm a cantankerist.
Are you?
Back in those days, Adam was just doing segments separately with one person at a time. Then there were no interruptions.
Technology has moved on since then. not necessarily for the
Maybe
better.
to the detriment of the podcast.
Yeah.
To me, this is an absolutely perfect story, except for the one thing which now is even referred to in like the Wikipedia page and the TARDIS fandom page refers to this, that Gaiman got it wrong about the pull to open business.
Oh, that was just a bit of fun. Don't worry about that.
Fluff.
Well, no, people
Pull to open is for the phone, but yes, the sort of the sign is on the door.
Phone, which bothered me then, and still bothered me when I watched it for the last night again. I've watched it 3 times this week. Anyway,
I watched it 4.
It's just, yeah, sure you did. Anyway, fantastic. I really have no other complaints.
No other superlatives. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it, Kirby?
And unfortunately, I have a lot of bad things to say about the next story, but
Whatever.
I'm not talking about that one yet.
No.
Okay, but at that point, if everyone listening wants to stop this podcast and just go and listen to what Kirby has to say about the next episode and then come back to this one, is that?
Yeah, makes
you
sense.
go into the
doesn't it?
future and hear me complain about Rebel Flesh Almost People.
Right then, everyone.
Which I'm assuming we're going to do those together.
Yes, of course. I'm not waiting 2 separate episodes for that. No way. Yes, it's a double whammy, full story.
Well,
Thingy.
we need to let Andy know. So
Yes, well, we're not going to do that anymore, Kirby. We're not
I'm
going
sure
to
he'll
do.
find out.
We're not going to do it in 2
No,
halves
call
anymore.
him now.
However, there might be one more that we'll do in 2 halves. I'm considering the 50th anniversary special 2-parter thingy. Maybe that can be done in 2 parts. I think it was 2 parts, wasn't it? The Day of the Doctor.
No, it was one part, but we could.
Oh no, if it's 1 part,
theoretically-
we're doing it at 1. Sod it. Right then.
Yeah, we could theoretically talk about the Peter Davison created 50th anniversary as well.
No, that's not. No. No.
Uh-uh.
Right then. Okay, so it's just a bit there.
Blokes running around in outfits they used to wear for a job.
Yes, and then they ended up in
love
Doctor
that.
Who anyway
Yes, I
after
know,
moaning
Kirby,
about
but
not
it's
being
like
in
an
it. Yes.
ex-policeman turning up somewhere in his uniform going, right then, I've got my friend the fireman and the ambulance man.
Mary!
Wait, where's her music?
Well, I was really looking forward to this one because I remembered it as being, one of my favorites. And what I have to concede on, though, is it's very much a fan story because there's so much in this that someone who would maybe tune into Doctor Who for the first time would probably just find this extremely confusing. So I don't think this is like a great story for the general viewer, but it is a good story for the devoted fan. It's a very Neil Gaiman-y piece of work. I mean, he loves to tackle the big issues. He likes, sentient planets and the nature of dreams and the existence of good and bad angels. I mean, this guy doesn't do small stuff. And then the production is like smoky and dreamlike, which is perfect, for a Neil Gaiman story. And then you've got the Saran Jones and Michael Sheen, adding a lot of gravitas to this thing. So, we're talking about a heavy-duty episode here. And the thing is that they put it like right in the middle of season 6, which is the rest of the season is pretty forgettable. There's not a lot of good in this season, but this episode is what I think people who love season 6 probably remember the most. I love the scenes with Idris and Doctor Who. I think those that Saran and
Who's that?
they just play off each other.
Don't set him off.
Doctor Who, though?
I'm sorry, what?
You mentioned a character called Doctor Who.
Yeah, I don't know anyone.
No.
You set them off,
Stop being
Mary,
horrible,
sorry.
Mary.
Thank you for backing me up there, Kirby Bartlett Sloan.
You set my tribble off.
But the thing about the episode that disappointed me were the Amy Rory scenes of them running through the TARDIS. It just seemed like filler to me because the same thing kept happening over and over. And it's like they never caught on to the fact that if they just hold on to each other while they run around, these things wouldn't happen. So I found it frustrating and kind of boring, those scenes. But I did love the opening of that cupboard and the discovery of all the Time Lord messaging cubes, that was pretty awesome. So yeah, I still loved it, but I'd take it down a notch or two because of what I think of as the Amy Rory filler scenes. They didn't really have to be in this episode at all. They really didn't play, a significant part in anything. So I would leave Amy and Rory out, and then I would love it even more. So that's what I think.
Well,
I think my treble likes the sound of your dulcet tones, Mary.
Yeah, it was, like I said earlier, it was planned to just be Amy inside the car. So of
course, even she, I don't know what she could have done to add to the episode, but still.
Run around, I believe, was part of it. I'm also reminded about something else with this story. The Doctor's Wife was a fake title attached to Caves of Androzani because J&T was trying to find out who was leaking information from the production office.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's my phone. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So, we got a tune for Kirby's bit.
Oh, for me.
The Kirby's special segment of the show in which he reads out the feedback that may have arrived on his request.
Do you?
That's you, Kirby.
Well, you want me to just go ahead and do it?
I haven't got any music.
On double.
I think that might be Ben's bit. Ben's music.
Ben does that, and
he's got a phone call.
All right. I'll just go ahead and read.
That'll be good.
Andy Nunny says, right, I'll get my board ready. Robert Haynes says, you can finally get started on that pile. Alan T. Butcher says, you don't want to go surfing in this weather, especially if you have piles. Dino says, I miss 11th Doctor so much. To me, the best era in Doctor Who was Amy Rory and the Doctor. Brandon, Mr. M, says, pew! Skip.
Skip that bit, yes.
Yeah, and I posted the 2011 new TARDIS reveal on Blue Peter.
Right.
I thought I had also posted another comment of a YouTube video that I don't see.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that.
Huh?
Don't worry about that, because it's not there.
You zapped it for some reason?
I haven't zapped anything. I don't generally look at this page until we do the show.
Okay, fine. Anyway, Neil James, the Doctor's Wife. I think Saran Jones is a fantastic actress, and she's my favorite thing about this episode. I always look forward to this one when I'm watching it. I tend to be a little underwhelmed. The guest casts are strong, and the regulars do a fine job, but it just doesn't really thrill me. I think I prefer the TARDIS to not have an impressive cleavage. Also, the episode's title is dumb. 3 stars out of 5.
Well, I think I should have been doing stuff in the background then, but I was just so interested in hearing what people...
The title is rather appropriate. When you watch the two of them bickering with each other, I mean, that's exactly what they sound like.
Yes, I'm sorry that I got waylaid. I haven't done this show for a while back, and I forgot the protocols. However, I've sent something very hastily to Debbie. If you don't mind.
The Doctor has got mail. Sounds iffy. What a strange planet. Looks like our local scrapyard. Washing machines, cars, and other household rubbish. Auntie and Uncle seem to be made up of different scraps of humanoid forms. Love that Auntie has the very large arm of the Corsair. The 2 left feet joke was funny.
Yes.
Saran Jones is brilliant in this. We used to think Matt Smith was hyperactive. She beats him hands down. There are some wonderful lines in this. Biting's excellent. It's like kissing, only there's a winner. That was my other quote. If somebody...
That was one of my quotes, too.
That was good.
Doctor, she's the TARDIS, and she's a woman. She's a woman, and she's the TARDIS. Amy, did you wish really hard? Fear me, I've killed hundreds of Time Lords. Doctor, fear me, I've killed all of them. Okay, so what's the title The Doctor's Wife got to do with it? River Song is not in it yet. Oops, spoilers. A good story with a very good cast. Shame Sexy can't appear more. She was very good. Oh dear. Next up, the Rebel Flesh and the Almost People, aka the Gloopy People. Stay safe, everybody. Linda and Terry Miles.
Thank you, Linda and Terry Miles.
Hello, 20 Megabyte Podcast. This is Ian Kirk.
Hello, Ian.
My computer broke a few months ago. I've been using the internet on my mobile phone, and it does not go well. I missed the Facebook announcement of the recording of the last episode. The curse of the BS. That was quite lucky. I replaced my computer a week ago and put the old solid-state drive in it, and it works just like the old one did.
Hey.
I can record and edit my audio again.
Hey.
The Doctor's Wife by Neil Gaiman. I've got mail.
Ding.
A TV show title cannot be clickbait, but this one tries really hard. Another "you have not locked it out, you have locked it in again with you" plot.
Yes.
Amy and Rory go down the same corridor again and again. Justified here because an alien entity is in control of the TARDIS. Oh my, they killed Rory. The only water in the forest is the river is a story arc reference,
Yes.
along with a mention of the Time War. Oh, and it is stated that a Time Lord can change gender.
Yes.
Edgar
Thought about that one,
struggles to separate past, present and future to comic effect. The TARDIS becomes like a haunted house, but it is haunted by House.
Very
Edgar's
good.
reappearing for one last conversation with the Doctor reminded me of Astrid Peth doing the same in Voyage of the
Yes,
Damned.
I got caught up with that one.
This was really good. Great performances from everyone.
Indeed.
Bye for now.
Yes, thank you, Ian, because that means that my calling her Astrid at the beginning of the show would explain why that was possible to get confused. Mary, you have something.
I do, but who's it from? Because I don't see a name.
It's from
on it.
Brandon Moore, i.e. Mr. M.
Oh, okay.
It should be very
All right.
interesting how you read this.
Brandon says, "Did you wish really hard? Apologies for missing the last few weeks.
Not
I
good
have
enough.
I've been recently moving house and did not have internet
Moving
access.
house, were you?
Eh? Anyway, I better do a quick catch up on the last few episodes. I adore both The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. Silence are incredible monsters, and the story is atmospheric, complexly layered, and a mad roller coaster of events. I would give both parts 10 out of 10, which makes it 5 episodes in a row, all of which are written by Moffat and directed by Toby Haynes. As for The Curse of the Black Spot, I really like it. I don't get what Kirby is going on about. It's a good, fun romp with a load of good old Doctor Who nonsense.
Yes.
Karen Gillan is hot,
Yes.
so dressing her up as a pirate makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
8 out of 10.
Worth the licence fee in itself. That.
The Doctor's Wife by Neil Gaiman.
The way you spelt it, K-N-E-E-L.
I had to pause for a second. Neil Gaiman. Okay. This story is a bit overrated. Don't get me wrong, I do think it's very good, but I do have 1 or 2 problems with it. Amy and Rory running around the TARDIS corridors, unfortunate, feels like only so much filler. Well, I agree with you, Brandon. I do. I'm not too keen on House as a villain and feel that he is far too easily beaten at the end. Yeah, he really is. However, everything with Idris and the Doctor is simply outstanding.
Yes.
The dialogue is fun, the performances are amazing, and it was a great idea to finally embody the TARDIS. Overall, I would give this episode an 8 out of 10. Mr. M. Next time, it all gets very fleshy.
It does indeed. Thank you very much, Brandon Moore. Right, I'm hoping I'm timing all this. What? Ben?
What?
I thought Ben was about to say something.
Special effects messing.
No, I wasn't doing anything. I was miles away.
Oh, weird. I'm just hoping that all this pans out so that it culminates in the highlight of the whole of the feedback section after this particular bit of audio.
Well, good evening, 20 megabytes. It's Andy Dunny here. It's 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and I did my ironing this morning. God, it's a rock and roll lifestyle I live.
Sorry, my dog's coughing.
Oh, God, blimey. And I watched The Doctor's Wife by Neil Gaiman. Now, I read quite a lot of Neil Gaiman, and as I thought it would be, it's going to be quite odd. and quite dark, because that's what Neil Gaiman does. He does write some very, very strange stuff. And I think, this is going to be a Marmite episode, because not a lot, some people like it, some people won't, simply because it's the style that Neil writes in, it's what he writes about. It's not going to please everybody. And I think that's, from memory, that's what we talked about last time. So here we go. So we have the TARDIS is suddenly brought to a grinding halt. We have a strange woman being locked up in some sort of cell. You don't know why. And you find out that for some reason she's got the TARDIS implanted into her. This is a trap done by House. As we find out, House is some sort of living planet. And then you've got uncle and auntie and nephew. And uncle and auntie are presumably the people that have been trapped already. And they are, well, as the doctor said, your eyes are 20 years younger than the rest of your body. Was it 30 years? No doubt, Kirby, you just shouted at me and told me you couldn't be right, because that's what you do things, isn't it? We never quite find out about Auntie, but we do have a reference to the Corsair, and the Corsair has cropped up elsewhere as another Time Lord. And I think it's rather good. Yeah, again, the bits with two left feet and the different hands and the different length of leg. I mean, really, these are straight out of Terry Pratchett and Scratch the dog, which is again, because of Terry Pratchett actually worked quite closely with Neil Gaiman, so I do want a bit of cross-fertilisation there as well. You've got these very strange people, and you realise this actually is a trap for Time Lords. And as the Doctor said, I'm the last Time Lord left, I'm the last one. He was, he's always hoping to find more. I think at this point in time, the Master was floating around there somewhere, but of course he's an evil Time Lord and not one of the good ones, so perhaps he didn't really count as a Time Lord. However, this is the TARDIS, Saran Jones as the female TARDIS, and using all the things the Doctor's called at the time, and also the fact that she said, "Look, I chose you." How to do it? I was the one that was unlocked, as a museum piece already. And actually, it's very, very good, because it actually does use a lot of the history of the TARDIS and use it very well. There's a lot of cross-reference stuff that the fans would love, but if you're not a fan and you didn't know about this thing, it didn't matter. It added to the story. But if you didn't know it, it didn't detract the story, which is why it worked really well. You had Amy and Rory running around, and their minds are being played with. You had the lunatic age Rory, you had the dead Rory, you had kill Amy, hate Amy. It just was. This is wonderful psychological stuff, and this is the way Neil Gaiman writes. He really just get inside your head, and I think that was some wonderful stuff, that was. But then you see the Doctor, he's worked out how to trap House, how to get it out of it. He said all the rooms that have been deleted, they get thrown back into the universe. So presumably the swimming pool and the library, or the other rooms, was it Squash Court 7, I think it was? They all presumably get put back into the TARDIS, because he's deleted them, and presumably they have now come back. Have to be, because obviously the swimming pool does get referred to quite a bit after that. But I thought this was really, really good story. It was quite clever, and it was one that you had to work at, because you had to really concentrate on the story. And I think the fact that I watched it before did help, because when you're doing ironing, you don't want to burn yourself, so it doesn't get my full attention. Of course, I want to get razor sharp creases in my clothing, because I'm a bit like that, and a bit anal. But hey, there you go. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. Shame we never actually see, we actually have this coming up again with TARDIS as a do you want to call it a person? I don't want to call it person, that's not the right word. But a personality, I think that's part of the way we're doing it, as an entity in its own right, or as we found out, her own right. So it's a shame this never came back, but I think it really did work very, very well. And standalone story, it stood up by itself, but there was references, as I said earlier, that you could take or leave if you wanted to. There were some good fun bits at the end, where get your room back and come here and lose the bunk beds. The Doctor just really at times just does not have a clue, does he? About human relations and things like that. And he said, go and get on with it by yourself. And so there you go. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a good story. It was a standalone. You can take it or leave it. And and then of course we come into the next two parts. Interesting one. But anyway, that's for next week. So until then, be seeing you.
Now, thanks, Andy.
What's good there is not only did we get a review of the episode, we also got a review of his ironing technique.
Yes, and also a synopsis we already delivered earlier on in the show.
Yeah, but I'd like to hear a lot more of our listeners' ironing techniques moulded into their reviews.
Why?
So if we can make sure that happens from now on, please, dear listener, because obviously you meant to pretend you've only got one listener, which is something I've never understood.
Well, we
There's
have.
people who aren't connoisseurs of ironing, like myself.
Are you a connoisseur?
Yes, but Debbie, you've still got a technique.
For 15 or 20
I don't have a technique.
You do have a technique. Whatever you're saying, if you think your technique's no good, that's still, a technique. You're still doing it in a certain way. So
Anyway,
more
away from the
ironing
20 megabyte
references.
ironing
My
podcast.
father liked ironing because he'd listen to stuff and, watched his own programs and things. He loved his ironing. It was sacred. I wasn't allowed to.
Maybe we should have a prerequisite that everyone who listens has to be ironing.
Anyway, Alan T. Butcher says Gaiman didn't get it wrong about the pull to open thing. The TARDIS did. And then, where exactly would Doctor Who be without people running through corridors? And then Lillian Robbins said, exactly. And then Ben Shoveler said, dictated, Alan T. Butcher's feedback for this week.
Right.
Nice
Yeah,
segment.
Andy brings up something that I meant to mention.
Oh,
earlier.
sorry, Mary. Carry on.
Andy's talked about the, please no bunk beds. Well, I think maybe this is when the doctor gives them like a really good bedroom, and that may be how the forecast that Idris was saying, the only water in the forest is the river. Maybe that's this is when it happens.
I thought she was already pregnant by this stage.
She is.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
No, she will be by the next.
But no, they say
That sounds
it's
menacing.
the wedding night. They work out that it's the wedding night.
Oh,
When,
Yeah.
when he's being quizzed.
Yeah.
Well, haven't they slept together on the tide? Well, no. Oh,
And
wedding
remember,
night.
she's not even there. She's a ganger.
I guess I want to say I forgot.
So
Never
we
mind.
were talking about bedrooms and bunk beds, Mary.
Yeah.
And Kirby, it's pronounced ginger, not ginger.
So
No.
bunk beds. I guess the bunk
She's
beds
one of the flesh people.
I was
Yeah.
joking.
And you nearly got in there again, Mary, didn't you?
I guess the bunk beds were not an impediment then.
No.
Oh, no.
No. They wouldn't be, would they? Let's face it.
Master,
What?
would you like me to read Robert's feedback?
No, because Ben's got to do.
Ben's gonna
He's
do
got a
Alan.
limited time, and he's got to do
No.
Alan T.
Okay,
Butcher's.
fine.
But we'll come back to it in a minute.
I'm already a minute over.
Go on, Ben.
The invoice will reflect that. Sexy, the TARDIS speaks out, or Chekhov's Petri Chore is in the house. But yes, that's what I said. Dear 20 megabytes, the Doctor's wife is, of course, a closely studied examination of what Doctor Who is. The jeopardy here is fundamental in that the TARDIS itself is in danger and vivisected for scrutiny in locum for the show to which it is so important. Therefore, we have two elements of the TARDIS separated into the machine, which provides the means for the show to exist, and the spirit, which is the motive force that provides the narrative path that the show follows. Bringing in auntie, uncle, and nephew is a clear nod to the family nature of the show's stories. There are many other such nods, like the Doctor's tendency to improvisation in building the mechanical part of the TARDIS out of old records. Old records? I've got Queen's Greatest Hits here. It's the original 70s version. It's quite scratched, so you can use that for console. There are many other such nods, like the Doctor's tendency to improvisation in building the mechanical part of the TARDIS out of old wreckage.
Yay!
I
Hope you lot aren't taking the mickey. And by the end, all is brought back together, allowing passage onto the next story where the Doctor needs to go. It should be noted that whilst some might say... You just knew I couldn't be bothered.
I got told not to say it the other week. I had to
You
go
what,
back
what?
and redo the whole bloody thing.
No. It should be known, that's what I'm saying. You can't make massive changes to how a show is understood after more than 4.5 decades of existence. In fact, Doctor Who is a science fiction fantasy TV show. Oh, sorry, Kobe, I didn't even give you forewarning. Hold on, rewind. Rewind.
Poise, ready, come on.
In fact, Doctor Who is a...
science fiction fantasy TV program or show.
Or show. I've got in the dialogue.
We'll go with
but
show,
go with that.
I think. It's all right. Adam, I'm sure, will make that sound fantastic in the edit.
Always sounds fantastic, full stop.
And revealing that the TARDIS always has an agency in determining the events of the programme, and the Doctor's life completely makes sense. Is there another Oasis song title there? Revealing the TARDIS agency in determining the events of the programme and the Doctor's life. That's not an Oasis song. The Doctor's life. This is the Doctor's life. Anyway, we also... I'll get on with it now. We also learn, excuse me, that the Mona Lisa was in fact a picture of the TARDIS taking a break as an artist's model. Probably one time that the Doctor visited the very perceptive Leonardo DiCaprio. Vinci.
This is a fake.
Why didn't they both get on the door? The door was easily big enough for both of them. Why didn't they both get on the door?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Because it's a fantasy version of the Titanic.
Has anyone seen Glass Onion yet?
No, but we've got to.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the Mona
He's
Lisa appears in that, by the way.
He's pronounced Darth Vader, not Darth Onion.
Darth Onion.
Anyway. All in all, The Doctor's Wife is a visually beautiful, startlingly intelligent and deeply significant episode of our favourite show. It is a bold move to suddenly personify a key element of the programme, which only notionally before has been a character within it. It is a bold and remarkable performance from Saran Jones that justifies and fulfills that choice. The small and quirky guest cast is pitch perfect in line with the TARDIS crew in well-defined roles. There is nothing wasted or pointless here. Mary, your views on that? On top of this, the opportunity for a subtle and meaningful foreshadowing is taken via a character which exists across the time continuum. The time continuum. Hey, you didn't know I've been working on my Dalek, did you?
I know you've been working on something, but the Dalek didn't spring to mind.
Oh.
Oh. And this is Dalek.
I didn't. Pardon me.
I mean, do you speak Dalek? Don't even try. The decade of the time continuum. This golden age may well have reached its acme, but now this makes me wonder whether he's just copied and pasted what he might have sent in many years ago. Because, I mean, reading this now, it just seems like you're saying Liverpool are going to be good forever. This golden age may well have reached its acme, but the surrounding slopes are gentle, so we should not worry too much. Oh, God, I mean, yeah.
Go on, then.
Let's just say, wow, it shelves over there, doesn't it? Yeah. Clearly, Neil Gaiman can do nothing wrong.
Right.
This story is perhaps an episode too short, as who would not want to see the Doctor have a lot more chat with his TARDIS?
Indeed.
Especially after a couple of bottles of gin.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time? Do you remember that time we stopped off on that planet and we accidentally blew the thing up before Scarpa? I got a clue what you're talking about, but I do remember.
Yeah, I was there, remember?
I was holding you up.
I love you.
It's pulled up. Push. Next up, Doctor Who and the... Oh, I can't believe you're talking to me after all this time. I've been waiting for it for years. Next up, Doctor Who and the Almost Nestines, or the Almost Two Doctors.
Yeah.
What's the next episode?
Almost people and the
Gooey people, yeah.
What?
Oh, the one with the stuff and the goo. And the
That's the one. The
goo.
Rebel Flesh and stuff like that. I don't know what's called.
Flesh,
Weird
yes.
names.
Those are my thoughts.
The one that I won't watch again.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to watch it again.
You'll probably enjoy it more than you realise. You say
Yeah,
that.
I know. I understand.
I think it needs to be one part of that.
Yeah, can we skip
Is he actually going to end up finishing and signing off this particular bit of feedback?
I am waiting for you all to
they
shut the
do
heck
talk
up
a lot, don't they?
and pay me the respect I deserve for my. Hey, that's better, Debs. Hold on, I'm just about to finish.
Stop it! You'll start me off again.
La la la. Alan T. Butcher.
Splendid.
Yay.
Got there in the end. Oh, before you go, Ben, I read books by the medium of audiobook because when I'm working.
So therefore you get someone reads it to you. Rather than
I'm not sure it is reading. I'm not sure it is actually
reading. Isn't that like
reading.
saying I drive myself to work on the bus?
Yes, it is. Well, I'm not sure it is reading, but it does give you the same information that reading would do, but it's handy for me because the first 2 hours of work are the shop shut and I'm putting stock out, so it's a good time to zone into work and listening to a book. Now, a book I've just finished today actually would be of great interest to you if you're interested in autobiographies. It's called Roy Keane, The Second Half. And the chap who reads it is Irish, and he doesn't actually do an impression of Roy Keane, but you do feel like it is Roy Keane talking to you, and it's very, very good. The only thing I found quite disappointing is I do like to hear how players, did in their youth, and then they get signed. And he didn't go into much detail regarding his getting signed by Nottingham Forest.
Yeah,
but it's a very, very good book.
It's our break time, Kirby.
Shush, Roy Keane is a very fascinating chap. So if you get a chance to read or listen to that particular book, it's only £5.99 on
I'm
iTunes
listening
at the
to
moment.
the rain. It's really nice.
So there we go. That's anyway. So how long have we got left now?
Well,
what? You owe him now.
Yeah, I mean, we're 10 minutes over, so, anyway. Before I go, though, I just need to say that if you want more of me, well, actually, if you don't want your audiobooks, Adam, you can always listen to the Indie Rock Disco Radio.co.uk, which plays the best indie and rock music of all time. I'd listen to that, Adam. You'll probably make your morning go a bit faster.
It's pretty good, Adam.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Oh, I see what you mean. You want me to listen to that between 7 and 9 on a Sunday morning, is that what you're saying?
Well, you can listen to it any time you like, but that would be an optimal time for you to listen to it. And obviously, to all my podcast listeners, and I hate to use this word, but I'm going to have to, fans.
I knew he'd say that. I absolutely knew he'd say that.
No, couldn't do it seriously. I mean, obviously, everyone wants more of me. And so, therefore, when Farnborough Football Club play at home, you can now go to their website and hear me do the commentary of the football matches.
I used to listen to your after-match phone-in session on the Saint. That was fab. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
They were good.
Yes, I do. And I remember it so much, Adam, that what you might find is that if this radio station grows how I want it to, the new station might sound rather a lot like the old one.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get that bald chap that was on the pitch who used to be your boss into the station as well, then.
Oh, I loved that bloke.
Did you?
He used to tell me off, right? I used to get told off for going to get some chips from what was... I mean, I can't believe that it was actually referred to as this, but it used to be known as the gay bar by certain members of the staff, which is just an appalling slur, and I distance myself from those people. Basically, because they live in Southampton, which is about 80 miles away from me. That's how I'm distanced now. But I used to get some chips for lunch, and I used to take them back into the office. And the manager used to have a go at me for eating chips in the office because he said it made the office smell when he used to sit in his office eating curry.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also writing a book, which he then published whilst he was at work.
I did that. And I did that. And
anyway,
I got fired.
Nice man. And
Sounds like a bit of a...
No, he was lovely. I can't say enough nice words about him.
Okay.
I found the video of Danielle Perry, another one of your former colleagues, interviewing my daughter Alicia for a sort of feature on her show at that same. I mean to publish it online, but I'm not sure whether she'd like it or not. She normally likes videos of her when she was a kid. I don't see she'd like that one. I can play some audio from it. Here we go.
Definitely.
Here's some audio from that video.
I don't know how to talk about the Isle of Wight.
Okay, well, you have to... How do you get there?
Well,
She's a big star now,
you
Danielle.
go
She
on
was...
the red jet to the Isle of Wight. She lives here, go all the way to the red jet.
Yeah, that's just a sample, because Danielle used to have a feature on the show where she'd ask a child questions and the listeners would have to work out what the child are talking about after a little bit.
I'd like to see that whole thing.
No, you would. Well, it's very cute. She's wearing a blue Southampton shirt. What she got off James Beattie. Anyway, sorry, Ben. Yeah, you were going, or you hanging around?
Yeah, I am. But yeah. Danielle was lovely. She was always going to be a massive
She's
star.
done quite well, hasn't she?
Yeah, she works on Absolute and loads of other radio stations. She's brilliant. So good on her.
Alicia had a picture taken with her, not me. Right then, we have stuff coming through on the live feed you might want to listen to before you go.
Go on,
Rob
then.
Tymek, the famous now Rob Tymek. We should have to make a jingle for him because
we should.
Lillian's managed to get plenty of mentions on the show. Anyway, he says, I would love to see a scene where the Doctor uses some sort of interface on the TARDIS that produces a hologram, some sort that we get a cameo from the actress who played Idris, i.e. Saran Jones. That's a great idea, and I don't think it's a bad one at all. Although, I suppose
that would be a bit like Holly off of Red Dwarf.
Yeah, I think the sort of
which is absolutely tremendous, by the way. But
it doesn't have to be Saran Jones.
It would be nice for them to catch up again a few incarnations now.
Yeah, they could actually do that, but not necessarily have Idris. They could have just somebody who's been in the TARDIS. The TARDIS could generate a hologram. So you could bring in the old Doctors just to play the TARDIS's,
You just have every week guest starring so and so as the TARDIS interface.
Yeah, a good way of bringing old stars into the TARDIS. Anyway,
that's a cool idea, because then they could do this perception filter as you see it, who you want to see it.
That's a plan. I like that one, Ben. Yeah, great plan, Rob. Lillian Roberts says hi, Rob, and then Rob says hi, Lillian. This is a great
I'll get a room.
This is.
Hi, I added you while everybody was bickering about it. Hey.
Yeah. And then Alan T. Butcher says.
Join in, Debbie. Make it.
Alan T. Butcher says, audio is the senior form, paper and ink is the modern confection.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Like I say, it's the same you're absorbing the same information as just someone's reading it to you. So I sort of reading-ish, not proper reading, but it's still good. It's a very good medium of listening to.
It's not reading-ish, it's taking in the information of a book.
Yes. The previous thing I've done was
reading is the art of seeing words on a page and taking them in.
Yes,
You're not doing that.
Alan Rickman was the previous one I read to.
You didn't listen to it.
I did.
Sorry, you did listen to it. You didn't read it.
Well, yeah. Well, I know what was in the book, so I listened to it. But anyway, I used to do on Jack and Nori when I was a kid. They used to read stories to. It was almost like reading. Well,
yeah, you made me so angry. I thought.
I read to Ida every night.
When you say you read to her, do you actually read to her, or do you play her something?
No, I read to her.
You don't go and say, I'm going to read to you now, darling, and then put on the audio version.
All right, let's put it another way. I've listened to the audio book, Ben. If you want to read the book, it's still,
you
I
don't
can just say
read
it's very good.
Then, Adam. You haven't read the book.
I do read, but I haven't got time to read actual books, so I listen to them while I'm got...
It counts.
Thank you.
Yes, but
Debbie?
you haven't read the book.
Oh, I missed you were going to get a bell then, but I missed the dinner. Right then.
I thought you might, Kirby, because we're right.
Yes, we are.
Right, at that point, I do have to go and change the Wikipedia entry of reading. And I shall see you all in a future episode. It's been a blast. Ta-ta all.
Yeah, right, thank you, Ben. Goodbye.
Take care, see you later.
Goodbye. All right, okay, then I suppose we should see if there's... What?
Master,
what?
I have a couple more things about the story.
Oh, go on then.
If I may. I did not find this out, and actually I want to confirm it later. Apparently, before mentioning fish fingers and a motorbike, Idris says an unintelligible line. That line is supposed to be the only water in the forest is the river, turned backwards. So I would like to put that into Audacity or something and turn it backwards and find out if that really is. And also, Neil Gaiman has said that he wrote something he had to cut from the script, but Idris at one point was going to say that the chameleon circuit was not broken. She keeps it the police box because the doctor likes it.
Ah, there you go. Well, thank you, Kirby. Doctor Who
Now,
news.
Did you want me to read Robert's feedback?
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. Thank you for that reminder. Not Doctor Who news, Robert's feedback.
Yeah, he says he can't make it tonight. The doctor's wife. I've been so tired that I was nodding off all throughout. I remember thinking it wasn't too bad the last time. I watched it, but I thought differently this time. I hate all the jokey rubbish, the biting crap.
Ooh.
When it's serious, it's so much
grumpy
better.
in his old age, isn't he?
I know. Well, it's interesting that the life force of the TARDIS ends up in someone. I would rather it was played seriously. When you realize that Idris's life is in danger through holding that life force, it adds more gravitas, which the jokey stuff doesn't have. All in all, though, this episode just feels like filler, and the threat from House is of little consequence. Think I'll like the Gangers more.
Is that it?
And
Oh.
yes.
Oh, in that case, I've got Ben. Sorry, Kirby. I've got to play this. Yeah, carry on.
I know. As I said this morning, I listened to episode 57, and he was completely the opposite. He just absolutely loved it. But
Well,
it had just been
So
broadcast.
basically, because it was 11 years ago, is it 11 years ago? No, 12 years ago. He was a bit more cheerful in those days, I think.
11 and a half years.
So thank you for being very precise.
That's my job.
No, it isn't.
Now,
times change and people change. Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. M said earlier that he sent in some feedback.
That's because he did.
He did. I read it.
Oh.
Well,
okay.
Did you zone out while Mary was dulceting her tones away through that bit of feedback?
I don't think that you stated who you were reading, and
I think we did at the beginning because Mary asked.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You weren't listening, were you, Kirby?
I'm wrong.
Right then, well, I'm going to have to soundbite that one, if we call it, that I'm wrong. Kirby going, I'm wrong. We could play that periodically through the show. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Right, what's the time note? I'll have to get a time catcher so I can find it easily. Where's my phone? Just see where we are on that one. Bear with.
Alexa.
I didn't ask you what the bloody time was. Shut up. We're 1 hour and 13 minutes to look up on my recording for that particular thing to capture. I've got loads of actually, little bumpers that we recorded at the FancyCon to insert into my file, which I haven't got around to doing yet. Doctor Who Magazine's Doctor Who News.net, by the way. Doctor Who Magazine issue 586 available from who1.co.uk, which reminds me I have to send out messages to our sponsors to see if they still want to do it for this year, fingers crossed. It says, in the latest issue of Doctor Who Magazine, Millie Gibson talks about playing new companion Ruby Sunday. In an exclusive interview, she talks about what it's like acting alongside 15th Doctor Ncuti Gatwa, and how she discovered she'd secured the role. There we go. And what do we think of Ncuti, the 15th Doctor's new costume, everybody?
It's okay. It's remarkable.
It's not remarkable, but it's unique, isn't it? And I quite like it. Certainly suits him.
Is it going to be practical?
Yeah, I like the as the Americans will call it, plaid. And
yes,
it does suit. I think, to be honest, I personally think
funky, but it needs to do practical stuff.
I personally think that Ncuti Gatwa could get away with wearing most stuff.
You call it.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're all talking over each other.
If Americans call it plaid, what do you call it?
Tartan.
Tartan. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Referred only to Scottish.
Or Czech.
Plaid tartan.
Czech. Well, I think at least pretty tartan-y, to be fair. Yeah, it's a tartan, isn't it? Definitely.
It's more like Harris Tweed by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful costume. But he'll look good in anything, wouldn't he? Let's face it. What else we got coming up? Nothing really. It's just talking about the Lethbridge Stewards book series. There's some audios coming out for the Romans, the Seeds of Death, Time Monster, and the Planet Evil, and the Celestial Toy Room Annual 2023 has been released as well. And
is there a link to that?
Oh, probably. Go to DoctorWhoNews.net.
Okay, I will.
What?
I will.
Oh, okay. Just checking nothing else has come through before. Don't want to miss anyone's feedback. You know what happens. If someone sends me something through. Andy very kindly, because obviously when we did the last show, I didn't realise that Dave Keeps had passed away, and he sent me a nice explanation and told me about the service and everything like that, all the stars, the podcasting stars that went to it and everything. So it was nice of Andy to do that for me. He actually sent me all the service, and which I haven't looked at.
Who's tapping?
What?
Someone's tapping.
Not me.
It's me with my mouse.
No.
Why?
Stop it.
Because I'm using it on the top of the desk instead of on the cutting pad, because it doesn't seem to want to move on the cutting pad anymore. So I've moved to the desk to make it more useful. So I'll try and do it quietly for you. Deb.
My
Sorry.
new desk chair is back. This is amazing.
So what does everybody think of the new banner, what I spent quite a lot of time putting together at the top of the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast Facebook group, which you can join? I've got no interest whatsoever, and I think it looks
I like
fab.
it.
I'll confess I haven't noticed it.
Well, thanks for that, Mary.
I'll look at it now.
It did prompt Andy to say that you can't get it on iTunes. Well, you can. Sorry, I did another tap. You got me paranoid about me tapping now.
No. It just suddenly got like you were really searching for something like...
Yeah, I was being frantic because I was trying to move the page up quick. Anyway, Rob Tymek on the live feed says, I think Shooty will do a bit of John Pertwee and vary the costume a lot. I think if people moan about it, I think the Doctors do change their costumes throughout their time, don't they? All of them do at some point. Especially the 12th Doctor.
I like the banner. That's very nice. Yeah, because you put in
Mary.
people that have been in episodes. Whether we know they're the Doctor or not, they're all the Doctor.
Yes, because there was of course
They
there were
are all
Doctors.
the Doctor.
Yeah.
There was argument as to whether David Bradley could be properly counted as, but he has played the Doctor.
Absolutely, he can.
And he has played the Doctor as much as Paul McGann has. No, I thought everybody deserved a nod there. It's just heartbreaking that we only got that one magnificent Fool story with John Hurt, and I still can't believe he was the Doctor. Right then, John Hurt, everybody. Right. Where do we go? Oh yeah, we're going to do the next part of the show, which is normally the quiz, which we're not going to do because obviously Ben's decided to bugger off. We're going to do the what we watched while we were off doing Christmassy stuff, more or less.
I don't remember.
Oh my God!
I'll do the bits that I can remember. I watched there's a film on that was in the cinema actually, and I can't remember what it was called now. Debbie will know because she has Disney Plus. It's like an animation-y thing where they're explorers and they're...
Oh, that. I saw that too, and I don't remember what it's called. Strange World?
Strange World. Yeah, that was...
Worlds, yeah.
That was... I zoned out a little bit during... It is a sort of charming movie, and it's got lovely...
I liked it.
Characters in it and nice scenery and beautiful, imagination in it. I might have been because I was doing something on the computer while watching it, so I did drift. So I might have to rewatch it. But what I did see of it and remember of it was really, really good. Of course, I did mention Glass Onion, which is, I believe, a Netflix movie starring Daniel Craig and a load of other well-known faces. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is good fun. The new series of Death in Paradise started over Christmas, so watched that. Went to the cinema to watch A Man Called Otto. Is that what it's called? It's a very odd title to a film. It's not really easy.
That looked like it was brilliant. Was it good?
It was. But I said to somebody when I was on my way there, we're going to see that new film with Tom Hanks in it. And they said, is it going to be good? I said, yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen a film that Tom Hanks has been in that isn't good. And I don't think it's necessarily because he makes the film well. I just think he picks the right roles when he does a film in it, and
he does a really good job of totally embodying whatever the character.
But he doesn't overperform anything. He
doesn't overplay it. He just embodies the character, and so you accept him. Yeah.
I mean, the last film I saw him was when he played that chap who did all the little children's programs. I can't remember his name, but he just like you say, he embodied the role.
Mr. Roger?
Pardon?
Yes,
Mr. Rogers. That's it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a cracking movie. But this one's for me is a much better film. The supporting cast were absolutely and there's a great balance between the comedy bits, it makes you roll around laughing, and then suddenly switching to the hugely emotional scenes, and of course that because you're going from one to the other, it makes each the laughter and the pathos much more powerful.
I'm
it's
curious
2 hours.
to see the original Swedish version of the film.
I've heard there's a few versions of it, yeah, but
no, it's
a novel.
It was a Swedish
version,
novel
yeah.
that was made into a film in 2015 and then remade for this version.
Yeah.
What is the name of the Swedish film?
A Man Called Ove.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it adapts quite well for how they put it into this. And I have to give a shout out, and I don't know what the actress's name, but she plays the new neighbour that comes in at the beginning of the story, and she is absolutely out of this world. And is the chemistry between her and Tom Hanks's character Otto are just worth going to see the film for. It's an absolutely brilliant movie. It's a very heartwarming and just great. Go and watch it. It's good.
So it's opening in theaters right now?
Yeah, I think it's only just opened. It's the first time I've been to a film that isn't a Marvel film, where the cinema was actually full. Recently, I went to see the 4 film in London, and the theatre was full. This one, it was only a small theatre because we've got quite a few in Newport, but it was full, and it was lovely to be in a just a bog standard film, what we thought it was, with everybody in there watching it at 5 o'clock in the evening on a Saturday. So yeah, highly recommend that. I've been watching a series on Disney Plus called Drain the Oceans, which I've been meaning to watch for a while, and now I am watching it. It's absolutely superb. I got a bit bored with the graphic they keep using to drain the oceans, because they're not really draining them. They're just saying, oh well, if we take all the water away, you can see all these details of these wrecks or whatever they're talking about that way. But it's very the artifacts they find and the stories about the ships that have sunk or whatever they're talking about are very well told, and you're given lots of information about history and people involved in history, and they're really good on their research, and it's really fab. So, and I think there's about 4 series and a couple of specials of Drain the Oceans. That's a really good series. Like I said before, finished watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I haven't quite picked up on Discovery yet, but I plan to. I've been catching up on Call the Midwife from 2 or 3 series, because I just didn't watch it for a while. And then I thought, oh, I'll watch 1 episode. Oh, actually, this is really good. Why did I stop watching it? So I've ended up watching it and nearly up to the series that's just about to start, or just started, I should say, on BBC One. So yeah, I've probably missed a few things I haven't spoken about, but that's the stuff that's stuck in my mind that I've been watching during the Christmas period. Of course, we watched stuff that was on the telly, and it was terrible. Christmas Day was terrible. The only things really worth watching were Michael McIntyre's The Wheel, and the new series The Apprentice has just started. We did watch that. That was quite good. And there was a great new series.
There was no Doctor Who on Christmas.
No, there was a great news series that Americans may or may not be aware of, called The Traitors, with Crildea Winkleman. Well, we thought, let's watch it, see if it's any good. If it's no good, we won't watch it. It was fab. It shouldn't be. The format, you think, I'm trying to explain the format. Right, you've got umpteen members of the public, which are people who do acting, and they're quite extroverty type people. Bung them in a house in Scotland. Pick out 3 of them to be traitors, and then the others are not traitors. What they call them?
Yeah, it was basically live action Among Us.
What's it called? What's the other? You didn't watch it, did you, Deb? Faithful. So they got 3 traitors. No, 2 traitors. No, it's 3. Sorry, 3 traitors, and everybody, the rest of them, 17 people are traitors. And every day, or every night, the traitors will murder, i.e. kick someone out of the Faithful clan, and then during the day they'll have a round table where they have to vote for who they think the traitors are, and say why they think they're traitors. And of course, for the first few things, they were picking up the Faithful, so were kicking themselves out of the game, while the traitors were sort of rubbing their hands together. And then they do tasks to build up the cash pot throughout the day, and it was just a really fab format, and I'm not. It worked really well, but I'm not sure whether it's so good because Claudia Winkleman is so fab. But yeah, that was another thing we really, really enjoyed during the Christmas period. So let's move over. I did waffle, didn't I? Over to Deborah Melrose.
Well, Santa gave us a copy of the Secrets of Dumbledore, so we watched that twice.
And what did you think?
Absolutely loved it.
I like that one. Yes.
Absolutely loved it. Absolutely brilliant. I could never remember his last name. He was brilliant as Grindelwald. Much better than Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loved it. Also watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. God knows how many times because that's just a blast and a half.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love Ghostbusters anyway, and this was a great. Yes, it was a tribute, but it was also really snappy comedy and really good fun. Loved it. Finally finished the Agatha Christie documentary on iPlayer. That was amazing. I've actually got my mum-in-law gave me a book.
Was that the one Lucy Worsley did? Was that
Sorry?
Was that the
yes,
Lucy Worsley? Oh, that was brilliant. I've never read an Agatha Christie book, but I do like to hear about people's lives.
I spent one of my book tokens on the copy of the book that goes with it.
Oh,
Lucy
right, okay.
Worsley. Sorry?
No, I said, oh, right, that's right. That's good. No, it's a great series.
And, then I spent another book token on Murder on the Orient Express, a different copy of that I've already got. So I went a bit Agatha Christie nuts this Christmas, so I watched everything going that was on the telly and I could find on Netflix and things like that. Murder on the Orient Express and the Nile and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So did a bit of that, watched a lot of Christmas crap, I think is the best way of putting it.
Yeah, we didn't watch an awful lot of Christmas movies.
What's Christmassy and I'm vaguely going to watch. I felt awful.
Can I intervene? Because I've just realised when you said Christmas, you reminded me we did watch the Santa Claus series off Disney Plus. That was quite good fun. And,
I haven't watched
as
that.
per usual,
watched
Elf.
Santa Chronicles, Elf.
And the other one was Christmas of the Cranks, which is, I think we can't not watch that when it's Christmas for some reason. Carry on.
Well, we definitely at Christmas, on Christmas Eve, we have to watch Hans Gruber falling off the Nakatomi Plaza. It's our go-to Christmas Eve movie. We have a Chinese dinner of some.
Was that the one where Bruce Willis says that it's not a Christmas film? That came out quite recently, wasn't it?
Yeah. He says it's not a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas
It is a Christmas
movie.
It's a Christmas Eve party he's going to, and he says Merry Christmas at the end. It's like, it's a Christmas movie. It counts. Ho, ho, ho. No, I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. But other than that, I was so poorly over Christmas, so it was literally, I think I watched so many food programmes, because they're my go-to.
That's all they put on Christmas Day. It was rubbish.
Nigella Lawson was about, Delia was about, Julia Child was about. It was amazing. There was so much stuff came up out of the woodwork for Christmas, and it was just brilliant to watch. But that's pretty much me, was just movies, feeling a bit crap, feeling a lot better now. But I've got a lot to catch up on. Still haven't finished Sandman, and Andor. Still haven't finished that, and just got so into so much stuff, and then just stopped watching it.
Thank you, Deb E. Kirby.
Let's see. I'm caught up with Rick and Morty. Caught up with Young Sheldon.
I love that.
I love that. Such a great series.
I love Young Sheldon. That's
yes. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago that I had decided to subscribe to BritBox again, and my oldest daughter, Fred, really likes Fawlty Towers to the point where she had it basically running,
understandably
over and over, and then she complained to me because she couldn't find it on BritBox anymore. So I wrote to BritBox, and they said they no longer have Fawlty Towers.
That's
oh dear.
You have to get the
DVDs.
What I ended up doing was taking my DVD and making a way that she could watch it that way.
I love Fawlty Towers, Fatty Owls.
Yeah, internally.
I can almost do the script off by heart without watching it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I watched Strange World, which I liked.
Yeah.
Fred did not.
Okay.
Interestingly, she's been watching over and over the Steve Martin version of the Pink Panther, So I said, hey, come downstairs and watch the original with me. So I hauled her down here to the geek room and she's seen Pink Panther before and A Shot in the Dark, and she liked them years ago. She started watching last night and said, I'm bored, and left.
My.
So I don't understand.
What you need to do is go and see it and give her a berm and see how she gets on with the berm.
Let's see, what else have I been watching?
I'm in disguise, you know.
I don't remember anything else in particular.
Oh, come on, you've just charmed us with the fact that we're all now going to be wanting to watch Pink Panther original. Because that's all I want to do now. I want to watch Deep
Yes. Peter
It's apparently not streaming any place.
Well, I've got it on DVD, fortunately.
Oh, well, so do I.
Is that it?
But the thing that I found is that I do have this tendency to if something's available on streaming, even if I already own it, I'll stream it.
Oh yeah, it's easier, isn't it? I mean, the 40 Star used to be on Netflix before Britfox nicked it back. I mean, all the Star Trek is now no longer on Netflix and in Paramount Plus. But there you go.
Yeah, I need to re-up my Paramount Plus because I can get it free for a year, but right now I don't have Paramount Plus.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Right. Before we move on to the highlight of the show, and unfortunately we don't have a theme tune for this today because the theme tune provider is not with us. I wanted to say I have. For Christmas, I did lots and lots of nice presents for Christmas, by the way, thanks to the fact that Isabella gets paid now, and she actually bought me stuff. Obviously, my little Tribble here, which doesn't like Kirby very much, sorry, I shouldn't have said the name, shouldn't I? Sorry. That was bought that was shut up. That was bought for me by Isabella, and very good. You don't. All you have to do, as long as you don't feed it quadrotriticale, it will stay as one Tribble. But this concept of the Tribble, the fact that if you feed them, they instead of pooing, give birth to their babies. I think that's quite nice. But what I got, this is my Polaroid camera. It's an I-type camera. It's Polaroid Go, I think it's called. Is it Polaroid Now? Polaroid Now camera. I haven't, obviously they're quite expensive per frame, but I love the challenge of doing proper photos. And look at this. This is a picture of me. Anybody watching on the live feed, taken with my Polaroid. It's a bit of showy offy because it's a self-portrait, but and with full window lighting and stuff. But I love it. It's such. I'm not going to take a picture now because that'd be a waste. But I could actually take a picture of the setup here. But yeah, that is my. The present, I bought the camera myself, by the way, but the present was the film for it. So that's my favourite Christmas present that I have. It's even more favourite than the bars of chocolate I've got in the cupboard, and the bottles of alcoholic beverages I also have in the cupboard, etc., etc. So, I think I've got anything for Mary that I can use as a theme tune. No. So therefore, all we have to say is Merry Bless Lang.
You're a bad imitation of Ben, you know that. Well, when it comes to something I'm watching frequently on TV, it's mostly basketball. Following my favorite team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, which are doing really well. So, I'm cheering them on. What I did watch streaming that I really enjoyed on HBO Max is the Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful movie. In terms of Big Finish, I really haven't listened to a lot of Big Finish recently. I went through a period from the American Thanksgiving in late November all the way through to Christmas, where the people in my household have been passing around, one virus after another. So I've been flat on my back, feeling horrible for weeks. As I just get better, I get the next virus, that we're circulating. So right now I'm in a period of health and I'm very happy. But for some reason, that would be the perfect time to listen to a bunch of Big Finish, but I just could never get into it. But I just got back into it now. And what I'm listening to is a Sixth Doctor series with Mel and a wheelchair-bound companion called Hebe. And the stories have been really, really good. I think this one is just called The Sixth Doctor Adventures. And it came out, I think last year, but I'm into it and I'm having a good time with it. In terms of books, interestingly enough, I just felt like I wanted to read something with a lot of depth and focus. So I'm rereading from many, many years ago. I'm reading Anna Karenina, and it's interesting.
Wow.
The impression that I have of the story, and of course it's reinforced by movies and television things. There's just that one big love story between Anna and her Count Vronsky. But it's funny, when you read the book, there are so many other stories going on, and most of them actually are more interesting than...
Yes, that's what I thought when I read it.
Yeah, it's like, I really like this story between Levin and Kitty, and I'm really enjoying other people's, and even getting into the mind of Anna's husband, who we just think of as kind of this dull and brutish guy. No, he goes through a lot, while they're going through their troubles. So it's become a very interesting book. I'm totally absorbed. And interestingly enough, my favorite Christmas present turned out to be a gift from my daughter. She bought us 2 tickets to go to the Joffrey Ballet. I used to be a real ballet fan. I used to see all the ballets. And she remembered that. So she got tickets to the Joffrey Ballet, and the specific one they're doing is Anna Karenina.
Oh, wow.
She had no idea that I was also reading the book. So, so that's going to happen, I think, sometime in February we're going. So I'm excited. Yeah. So that's what it is for me.
Thank you, Mary.
Master.
Yeah.
I remembered something else that I just finished watching.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I remembered it. Yes, right. I moved a whole bunch of books from one shelf to another. And revealed some of my Tintins. So I went back and watched The Adventures of Tintin.
I used to love, I think my friend Dave Baker, he collected the books, which they were comic books, weren't they? The Tintin comic books, and he was and he's still pretty much a fanatic about Tintin. Whereas I used
the screenplay of the movie was written by Stephen Moffat.
That's right. But where I was really into Asterix, the books of Asterix, when the films came out, it didn't quite get the feel that the books had, the Asterix books.
All my dad's copies of those.
What Asterix is.
Yeah, there's an Asterix movie coming out very soon.
Yeah,
another one.
They're okay.
But I ever thought.
But when I read the books, the cartoon, what they call it, comic books, aren't they?
Graphic
novels.
I loved them.
They're graphic novels, really.
I'd be heading out. That's what I used to go to the bookshop for, to get Asterix books. I absolutely loved them. And the same with Garfield books. Before Garfield became a big movie, TV series and stuff, I used to love the Garfield books. They literally were books, weren't they? Because obviously the comics went into nuewspapers, but they compiled them into like a novel.
I used to have a whole bunch of those.
Loved them. And of course, having a dog called Odie is also quite an unusual thing, but we didn't name him.
We had Peanuts books galore. All the books you could get of Peanuts.
Oh, yeah, I used to have a few of those when I was young.
We called them our toilet books because they were constantly in the bathroom. In the end, we just left them.
I used to like the TV series of Peanuts, to be fair. I must admit, I used to enjoy that.
Right now, my reading material for there is Lord of the Rings. The Two Towers is up in the nearest bathroom.
All right, then. Talk about the Lord of the Rings. That reminds me of the World Trade Center thingy. Did anybody see that 3-year-old who remembers dying in that particular disaster?
You just love the
3 years old.
So,
It's amazing. Reincarnation, very fascinating scenario. Right then. Right.
I wasn't quite done.
What wasn't?
Anyway, I was talking about the Tintin.
Oh, sorry.
So I ended up just a couple of days ago. Someone's dinging something. Okay.
Yeah.
I ended up a couple of days ago checking to see if I had the graphic novels of. There were 3 of them that were adapted for the Tintin movie. I've got one of them, so I also ordered Red Rackham's Treasure and The Secret of the Unicorn, which should be coming from Amazon today.
Oh, no, sorry, I got distracted by Deb sending messages.
Sorry to distract you.
No, it's Deb just sending pictures of a cat.
My phone keeps dinging. My seem to have the same dinging happening on the computer.
Yeah, that's Deb sending pictures of a cat. Right then,
Yes.
On the live feed, Lillian Robbins said, "Oh, not going to answer about my video." What's she on about? Right, so I'll go back a bit. When Lillian says, "Did you all like my little video the other day?" Page 30. I don't know if I saw that. Will anyone see Lillian's video?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would it make her feel better if we said, "Yes, I've seen it"? Lillian, you put a link on the thread, and then I'll
posted on the Facebook group.
Was it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. As I say, I don't really look at the Facebook group until I need to post something on it I think it's interesting, or at the time when we record the show. Then we had Terry Miles. Why have you not got Richard Herndl on the banner?
Oh, good point.
Here's a good point. Oh, no, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Terry Miles. When we went to see the new Avatar film, it was the first time in 2 years we saw a full theatre. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Supposed to be very good, isn't it, the new Avatar thing? I've seen sort of pictures in previews of the film we went to see, of the IMAX version, IMAX 4D version, indeed, of that film. And then Alan T. Butcher said, David Tennant's Litvinenko. Litvinenko. How do you say that, Deb? Litvinenko.
Litvinenko.
That's what I just said. Never mind. Yeah, he does. I haven't seen it, but I know the story. I know he dies, and I find that quite harrowing because it's real. And then he said it's great. Lindy Robbins said it's a Christmas movie. What is? Oh, Die Hard.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
And then Alan T. Butcher said Saran Jones as Christmas Carol was very good. It has Morecambe and Wise as the ghosts of Christmas past. And then Lillian Robbins said, my video is posted on the group. Thank you, Lillian. Yes. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm sure we've forgotten to mention stuff we really, really wanted to mention. And next week we have the Ganger double bill.
Adam? Tim Drury's brother went into hospital, and we just send him all the love and hope that he's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have to reiterate what you just said, Debbie. And by way of tribute, I would play the... Ah, here it is, because you've mentioned it. It's got to be played.
There you go. But yeah, his brother's poorly, and I just wonder if he's listening or listening in future. Hope everything's okay.
Marvellous. I don't know whether I should say anything or not.
I think we're done, Adam.
Are you lot any good at keeping secrets?
Are we dragging this out any further?
Yeah, we are done, but I cannot... Shh. Are you lot any good at keeping secrets?
Maybe.
It's very mustn't say anything because it's bad luck.
You're live, you know.
I know. But nobody watches this thing anyway. But we're all very, very excited.
At admission.
Oh yeah, Lena says that's not my voice. It's a TikTok trend. That's what she's just said about it anyway. Oh God, I don't know how to put this. But by the time people watch this episode, it'll probably be over and done and dusted. But Alicia's pregnant.
What?
Oh, how wonderful! What?
But she's only 8 weeks, so that's why we're saying keep it the bigger. She hasn't done the big announcement yet. But this isn't the place to do a big announcement. But she wants to do it, so keep it quiet. She'll put a big announcement. Don't send her any messages or anything.
No, won't.
Does she know what it is yet?
It's a baby, yeah.
8 weeks. She's 8 weeks.
You showed me a picture of it. I'll call it a blob because it's basically a blob at the moment.
My picture of Isla like that. I got a picture of her at 4 weeks because I was really poorly, and she looks like a little kidney bean.
Well, it's a fuzzy blob.
She's had the nickname Bean ever since.
I'm going to be
I'm
a grandparent to a fuzzy blob
She's
at the
my
moment.
Bean, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not telling anybody at the moment because it's supposed to be bad luck, but it's all very, very exciting.
Yeah, but we don't count apparently.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Apparently
don't tell
we
anyone,
don't.
and don't send her any messages.
Not
Alan
going
T.
to.
Butcher says yay. I'm whispering it just in case she must be abed, hears me upstairs. Right then, so what did Alan T. Butcher say? Alan T. Butcher says you can keep a secret better than that, and put it in the show. Put it on this show, surely. What's that mean? You can keep a secret better than to put it on this show, surely. That's sort of secret. I trust you a lot not to say anything. Right then. But by the time, like I say, by the time I put the
What does she want to know? Why is it a secret? Who does she want to know?
We're just a bit superstitious. She's not. She's quite
It's
happy to tell it.
superstitious.
She's quite happy to tell everyone. But they want to do a proper big announcement at 12 weeks when they do the 12-week scan. So they haven't actually properly announced it on social media yet. So shh. Right then, so next time, like I say, the Ganger double bill, the title of which escapes me. I'm sure Kirby knows what it's called.
Double Flesh and the Almost People.
That's it. And I do like the actors in it, so I'm not going to completely not like it. So,
I suspect I'll like it better.
I suspect I won't like it at all.
I have, before I go, I must say this. Everybody knows I'm quite a big keen on the ancestry thingy. Even when I said that we were related to whoever, the Queen or whatever, oh no, Alicia said, no, you're not. I said, well, what point do you stop being related to someone if you have a mutual ancestor? That's a quite interesting point, actually. However, on one side of my family, my great grandperson, I can't remember if it's a mother or father, was a Hodsall, and the Hodsalls go back to a particular person who also had two children, well, several. One of which was branched off to be our family, and the other one branched off to be started with Benet Hodsall, it's a girl's name, and it's not that far. Bear in mind, me and the King are like 19th cousins or something like that. Orville Wright, I don't know if you've probably heard of him, he was a famous aviation pioneer, is my 9th cousin 3 times removed through the Hodsall line. So that's quite close compared to 17, isn't it? So that's
right.
And an actress called Jodie Foster who also spun off from the Hodsall line. I found that quite exciting when I was... Oh, Betty Davis. Oh, I didn't know Betty Davis. Johnny Carson. All these people are spun off. Priscilla Presley. Ever heard of her? Dwayne Sarah Palin. Tommy Lee, Lisa Marie Presley, Kate Hudson, all these people. I'm not counting Kate Hudson because the ancestry connection says probable, and I don't pay any attention to probables. But yeah, that was quite. Oh, Bing Crosby. Ooh, I think that's a probable. Actually, I just check.
Very Christmassy.
Oh no. Oh, Bing Crosby. There's no probables.
Christmas connection, Bing.
Oh, I'll have to put him in. I'll have to put Bing into my family tree. But anyway, that was quite exciting for me. And Sarah Millican, who's a comedian from the Northeast, is performing at Shanklin Theatre later on this year, and she's my 5th cousin, and I'm desperately looking forward to telling her that.
just admit it. Everyone's your cousin.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. But when you can
everyone in the whole world.
When you can find the connection, that makes it quite exciting.
Like the same 7 ladies.
Yes, but when you can find the actual connection, how that fits, quite exciting. I found out I was actually related to my best friend Dee Holmes through this sort of thing, but he's got a more direct connection to the royal family than I have. Never mind. Right then, so like I say, next time, I suppose it's next week, I'm pretty sure it is. I've just checked my highly busy diary, but I'm pretty sure I haven't got a break until February when there's a show to film. But looks like this month is quite slick. We've got 15th, 22nd, 29th, then we've got the 5th of February, 12th of February, and then I've got a show on the 19th.
Good.
What?
Any more feedback?
No, what, have you got any?
No.
Then probably not. Then you're desperate to keep the show running, aren't you?
Not as much as you, it seems.
Yeah.
Oh well,
I
haven't been able to exercise my vocal cords properly for quite a while. But as of now, the show is over. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Fancy Pants.
Bye.
20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast is an APV Services production sponsored by whowon.co.uk, lavazi.co.uk. We are a proud member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance. Doctor Who is a trademark of the BBC. No copyright infringement intended.